Did they hurt your ears after a while or no?
They did the first night, but I switched the little tip things, and they seem to be all right. But yeah, I notice I fidget a lot. Like I'm always like twisting.
Yeah. Mom was saying that too. She's like, she fools with them, and then the more you fool with them, the more they start hurting, right? You have to
Yeah, it's a
like,
balance. I'll just keep the other ones right here. Just swap them out. What are we drinking?
oh, buddy, just water. I was gonna get cider, but didn't have enough time.
Such is life.
Oh, do you have Sarah's sippy cup or no?
I do actually. It's empty though. Look at this.
Uh,
My desk is just like shrapnel right now because I haven't spent a whole lot of time down here. So you can hear like cans. You hear that? There.
that looks, it's like a cat.
Basically. So yeah, I got nothing tonight.
Oh well.
I've been pounding the water though for like 2 weeks. It's amazing
Yeah, I
how many
was gonna
times you
say.
can run to the bathroom.
Yeah,
Like it's blown my mind.
I was gonna say. Yeah, I don't know if I told you that, but just to smash water. It's such a stupid thing to say if you're trying to lose weight, but
It's so easy.
no, yeah, it is easy because your body gets used to taking in water and then pissing out water and it's flushing out things as it does it. Like it's stupid easy. Like you could literally do nothing but that.
That's
You know?
I'm like, okay, I'm at that point where like I'm trying to heal my brain and stuff, but I'm like, I gotta heal this busted ass body. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna drink more water, walk short distances that I would usually drive, like especially at work. Like it takes a little longer, but it's not that big of a deal. So I just started walking everywhere. And I'm like, I've got a certain amount of steps I want to get in at work and a certain amount of water I want to drink. And then just don't stand in front of the pantry for an hour and eat when I get home. It's like usually she'd be cooking. I'll like open the door and I'll just like dummy a bag of chips while I'm talking to her. Not even realize you do it. And then eat supper.
Yeah.
And that's just a horrible combo. So it's just bad habits, trying to break little bad habits to start. Because I was like, am I going to go hard and just like go in and try to lift weights like I used to like 10 years ago and hurt myself and then lay on the couch, or am I actually going to try to like ease into this?
Yeah. And people get overwhelmed too. Like that's why I don't like the personal training aspect a lot because people go in and then they're like, you need to be in here 4 days a week. This is what you need. This is your meal plan. Drink all this water. And then it's too much. And people are like, man, like, you go from nothing, right? Like just being basically like, not to offend you directly, but like people go from like being lazy bums and then they're thrown all this shit. And that's how you give up is because it's too much. It's like, pick a couple things.
It's not offensive. It's true. And if you can identify that, like for the majority of my life was a very athletic, in shape person who could pretty much do what I wanted. And I had my body was in decent enough shape, but once you let it go, the hardest part is kickstarting it again. And the easiest thing to do is just not do it. Like, just lay down or just do this, do that. So you gotta train your brain before you can start to train your body to get back into it. Because the muscle memories and all that is there. Like I'm actually dropping weight pretty quick, but it's a result of commitment, not a result of sorry, my watch is dinging. What the fuck? Yeah, it's commitment. It's not just getting in there and just running all the time. Like you said, you need to eat like 4 pounds of salmon every single day.
Yeah.
Like those, I did that. I used to do those, like some of the DVD workouts, and the workouts were great, but I always tried to follow the meal plan too. And I was like, I can't do this. Yeah. So I just work out and eat healthy. You can only have one shot of brown rice a day.
Yeah. It's stressful too. It's actually doesn't take away stress to count your calories. It just adds stress.
Do you count calories?
I used to. When I was like really wanting to gain weight, I used to count calories and, you need to eat your body weight. So like whatever your body weight in pounds, let's say you're 180 pounds, they're like, you need to eat that many grams of like chicken in a day, right? Or no, sorry, of protein in a day. So a chicken breast only has like 30 grams of protein. So you need to be eating like 6 chicken breasts a day.
Spending $130 on chicken a day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
And most of that goes straight through your kidneys and it's just destroying your system. And you don't absorb most of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, wow, you made your body toxic and you spent a bunch of money eating meat. Congrats.
Oh shit. Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely a whole rabbit hole, a whole podcast series on just fitness and
Yeah.
even things like drinking water to put down your inflammation, right? Like if
Oh
you think
man.
about it, like if you're eating a bunch of bread and like some people are good with dairy, like I can't have dairy really at all. I have like a full on inflammatory response. Like I get like coughing and just like weird shit happens, right? And yeah, like things like just drinking water will help with stuff like that and make you not feel like you're ancient, right?
Yeah,
So
and mine's like I have acid reflux super bad. I've been medicated for 10 years now for it.
yeah,
And just in so like I used to drink like 6 7 coffee a day. The last one would be at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Like I would sit at this desk and stream and drink a large coffee and an energy drink
yeah,
simultaneously. I'd put like 400 grams of caffeine right into me and then go lay down way too
yeah,
late,
yeah,
get 4 hours of sleep and wake up and be like, why is everything burning? So like
yeah,
now I've cut down the coffees. I've supplemented myself with water. Like when I have that craving, I just pound a bottle of water and then I'm full. I
hmm,
still have one in the morning and one at break just to kind of alert myself, and it's comfortable. But I've noticed like and cutting down on snacking and eating late, and I
yeah,
haven't been taking my pills as much. Like it was an everyday, consistent everyday 1 to 2 pill every day. I've
hmm.
probably taken 3 pills in the past 14 days,
That's
which is a
pretty damn good.
huge improvement,
Yeah,
and your
yeah.
body starts to feel better. Your muscles feel a little more fluid. Like it's just,
Hmm.
you really don't realize when you get in a rut. And I know this pandemic really put a lot of people back even further than that, and all these lockdowns and all that stuff. But like I'm starting to feel alive, and I'm like, wow, I've legitimately felt like shit for a long time, and I never really realized.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I was talking to Kat and I was like, man, my baseline like stomach and how I feel on a day to day is so shit because I let like, oh, well, I'll have a piece of bread and I'll have like some cheese on like some quesadillas or whatever. Like I'll have some of that and like, oh, whatever. But like if you start cutting them out, you realize that you've been literally carrying a burden of like toxicity in your system and it affects everything. Like it affects your brain, man. It's really weird, but like we've said before, like there's a full on direct relation between your body and your mental state and it can get
big
really
time.
bad.
Oh
Like
yeah.
really
And
scary.
you usually dig that hole yourself while you're busy blaming all the other aspects of your life on what has led you to this point. You're
Hmm.
not taking that 2 seconds and looking in the mirror. So
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot. I said I sound like a
Yeah.
person who's like reading, and I'm in like that 2 week phase of like making some positive change in my life, and that's usually the
Yeah.
point where that's the decision: are you going to keep going up, or are you going to go down? That's why I'm like
Yeah.
I just keep reiterating it to you, like what I'm doing, because I feel like I'm at least telling someone. I'm like, hey, here we go. Like this is what I'm doing. I did this today. I did that,
Hmm.
just to kind of validate myself, but kind of
And it's still
ranting.
as you know, it's still a delicate stage, right? Like
Oh
you
yeah,
need to do some what do they say? You need to be doing something at least 30 times before it becomes a habit, right?
right.
So I think it's 30, it might even be more, but I mean the thing is like you're still will be tempted by your past for a while, almost like an addict, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I
Well,
still
we
got
are.
that hit. I still
Yeah.
need that hit.
Like we had this like a nacho dip tonight, and so I was like, yeah, I'll just have a couple, just a couple, and I was fine. And then
Yeah.
the kids and stuff were eating it, and then after I like grabbed the bag, I'm like, shh, and I went to do like the big chip drink, and I'm drinking,
Yeah, yeah.
and Sarah's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, good point. I was like, I didn't even realize I was doing that. She's like,
Yeah.
that's what you do. It's your subconscious. You just like, instead of wrapping the bag up and putting away those couple chips, you'll just eat it all and throw it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
if you don't know, you don't know, though, right? Because I honestly, if you don't know, you don't
Yeah, I know
know.
that was
That
real.
was
That
real
was
bad. Whoa.
that was really
Yeah,
bad.
that was right bad. But yeah, if you don't know, if I just did it again, if you do not know, you do not know. There.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes you just need that outside
Yeah.
uh input, I guess we'll
Yeah.
say.
That's kind of with all life, too, right?
Yeah.
You know what we say a
Oh
lot on
well.
the East Coast is right.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, everything's right
You say right after a sentence, but when you use it like in a sentence, it's
in the
rate.
sentence. Yeah.
So like it's rate weird, right?
It's
Right
different,
after you
two
say
different
it.
words,
Yeah,
I
it
guess.
is. It's weird. Anyway.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
They are different words. They're even said differently. Yeah.
That's right.
You're not like right-handed, you're right-handed. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Like,
But like when we were getting ready to do this, like I was like, I'll be right down. You know what I mean?
oh,
And
okay.
it's I don't get it. Anyway, don't try to understand.
That was like the last time I went home. I started like talking a bit different. Just to talking to Levitt was just how
That'll snap you right back.
all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's just everything's coming through the nose all of a
Yeah.
sudden, you know?
Wait. You
Yeah.
gotta pull your
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
face down to say it right. Oh, that's funny.
Oh boy.
How was your week?
Uh,
Actually, it's been 2 weeks
good. It
since
was in
we've done
Revy.
this, I guess.
Revy was fun.
That looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it was more expensive than I thought it would end up being, which was nice.
That's
But
always a nice surprise.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it was good. Riding was good. Scary. Scary to go off the ground on your mountain bike and have zero control.
Especially when you're still going down after.
Yeah.
Like that's
No,
the,
yeah, you're fully falling through the air in a controlled manner, and the only thing you can do is like hold onto your handlebars and hope that your bike catches you, basically. So that's one thing I'm still trying to mentally wrangle. Is like my instant reaction is like my brain says let go and crash avoidance, like just like tuck and roll. But I mean, you got to stay on the bike, right? If you don't stay on the bike, that's when you're gonna crash. So it was good. It's not my fastest weekend, but I was still pretty quick compared to other people. But you know, when you're really only you're the only one on the mountain bike, so you can only really improve your performance. And
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
right.
I could have done this a bit different, but whatever. I didn't fall, didn't crash, so I'll take it. I'll take it as a win. Like,
A little bit
especially there.
a little metaphorical as well. The
Mm.
whole experience.
Yeah, man.
It's kind of just what we talked about going
Yeah,
downhill.
it's what I was talking about today earlier. It's just like today's one of those days where it's like, well, you know, there wasn't any highs, but there wasn't any lows. Like you didn't crash and burn, so whatever.
Same.
Like,
I've had some really uncomfortable conversations at work the past couple days that
Yeah.
were needed. And I won't go into any details, but just as you know, I'm in a supervisory position, so sometimes you put yourself in situations you don't particularly want to be in. And my crutch was
Yeah.
just not dealing with it, trying to nice guy my way around it, because I don't want to. I just want a cohesive environment. But that book I've been reading, whatever one, the subtle art of not giving a fuck, was like,
Yeah.
it's kind of made me. And one major thing I've taken from it, a little bit I've read, is like, it's not my fault if I have a legitimate conversation with a person about issues on their end of things. I'm not responsible for them not performing or for doing something, that needs to be disciplined or talked about. That's not my burden. So me
Yeah.
bringing to someone's attention, like, hey, I know this happened. We need to change it. And then them getting
Yeah.
mad, I would feel before, I'm like, shit, this is my fault now, But I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
addressing an issue. If they're mad at you and they go home and, talk about you all night, who cares? That's just
Yeah.
outside noise that I don't need. So I've been trying to just kind of push myself in lots of different facets of my life. And I kind of feel like energized and shit. Like it's weird. Like it's like I'm not streaming tonight because I've got stuff on, and before that would have stressed me right out. But like, why? If I'm just a ball of like emotionless stress and anxiety about what I'm doing, why am I doing it? I should feel a lot more comfortable taking a night off because I need a night off. I should be
Yeah.
comfortable doing my job. I should be comfortable trying to get healthy, like all these things. I don't know. I'm just in
Yeah.
a talky good spot.
Well, yeah, it's just like you gotta start wrangling that shit in. It's like,
Yeah.
and a lot of it for me, just to kind of bounce off what you're saying, is like that whole like don't be nosy, like don't take on other people's burdens.
Yep.
Be the individual, like be your own individual, and understand when, like, I mean, with you, it's like, oh yeah, if you're addressing an issue, I mean, you have to address it, but you don't have to exist on both sides of the issue. Like, you're only yourself, and the other side is for the other person to deal with.
Exactly. This is what I see. This is where we need to be. It's up to you to get there. I'll check in later and see if you've got there. That's the way I
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah.
I've got to get myself to the position and not put both of us back in this position by addressing these things head on and having conversations, which is the same in life. When you step on the scale and you look down and you're like, I'm not happy with that. Like, okay, deal with
I'm
it.
a thick boy.
Yeah, exactly. And you're looking at them like, wow. Like, achievement unlocked. Like, yeah. It was just getting bad.
High score.
Yes. That's what it was felt like. I looked down. I was like, oh my God. She's like, what? I'm like, it's a new record. I'm there. I've done it. I've ascended.
Yeah.
But really, I'm not ascending. It's the opposite. I'm pushing the fucking weight of the scale down so much that the number is getting higher.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that before with, well, I've heard that, like, like when you start a family, like you lose time. So then what you do is like your windows to eat are shorter. So then you don't think about what you're eating because you don't have time. So then you buy shitty stuff and then you eat it quicker. And all of a sudden you're in a bad spot because you're trying to prepare for things. You know
how many of my suppers have been like crashing through the door at 20 to 5 when we've got to leave at 5 to go somewhere. And I just, like, the two kids will have eaten, and whatever's left on that plate on the table, like whatever they didn't eat, I'm like, and that's my supper, and that's it. So I get like 2 bites off each of their plate, and then you leave, and then pig out all night. But yeah, and it's an easy crutch. Not that it's a crutch, because it is true. You don't have time, but that's when you adjust your routines, and you think like, okay, maybe if I had made supper the night before or prepared something or had something ready, maybe I would have had a chance to eat. I could have grabbed something. It's just, kids are busy, but it's good busy, and it shouldn't I think unfortunately a lot of the time a father's health is one of the larger sacrifices that he makes for his family, which is weird because it sounds like you should be doing the opposite. You know what I mean? But for me, like, I'll run myself ragged. I'll hurt myself and keep going. I'll eat the shitty food because I don't have time. I'll stay up all night because I have to do something or I didn't get it done, or I need to de-stress myself because I've pushed because I'm not willing to, like, do what we're doing right now. If my kids are up, I'm with my kids. I come down here when they go to sleep. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of fathers are like that, and they'll work when they can, or some will go work night shifts and stuff like this. And I'm not saying this against mothers or anything like that. I'm just talking from my personal experience that I find a lot of the dads I know, like, their physical health goes down. The more kids they get, the bigger we get, the more out of shape we get, the more problems you seem to have because there's a lot of sacrifices you make, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I think chats like these, you're not supposed to talk about it. That's the other thing, because you're a dude and you're a dad, right? And you don't talk about stuff. You just,
I got a bit fat.
Exactly,
it's like, you fucking are gonna die at 62.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's just, it's definitely something I've seen too. Like, as a young father, I'm like, whoa. Like, if I want to, because like my father was like the healthiest man this side of the, in the northern hemisphere, and it still, still came for him young. So there's identifiers, and said you're busy and schedule and all that, sure, but big thing for like any people that are watching this, or any fathers or anything like that, or mothers or anybody, caretakers, like, you got to remember that you're doing a lot for the people that depend on you, but you still got to be in good enough shape to be dependable. So that's kind of what I've been thinking about.
Yeah. I remember thinking about that when I was like starting to go to the gym, and then I was like, man, that'd be so cool if you could like take my dad. Like, I was like, that'd be cool if I could take my dad to the gym, but like, the guy smokes a pack a day, and you know what I mean? And he's not that, like, he was at the time, like, what, he would have been 60-ish when I started lifting. And I'm like, like, there's guys in their 60s that are still going to the gym and still very active, but I mean, at this point now, like, he's too scared to get out of his house because he doesn't want to get COVID, even though he's fully vaccinated, because he fucked his lungs with cigarettes for so long that now he can't even smell a cigarette without having, like, basically an asthma type attack.
Crazy. Yeah.
His body has basically said, fuck you. If you have another cigarette, you're dead.
Yeah.
And that's what the doctor said too. He's like, if you keep smoking, you're going to be dead within like a year or two, because you're just putting your entire body through like the last test. So
that's a red flag.
But I mean, it's, some people are too stubborn to receive the red flag.
Yeah, no, and that's right. So you can't, and that's tough for you, because like you talk about that, it's your father and you want to make them aware, but how do you? And that's what's funny. Like, my father, the opposite direction with his health, like, was dragging me down to work out when I was like 12. Like, I started lifting weights young, nothing heavy or anything like that, but he started making me use my body young. So for that majority of my life that I was around him, he said I ate what I wanted. I did what I wanted, and I was in good shape, and I stayed in good shape because my body was trained to do so. And then when I took all those lessons and I just pulled them out of here and threw them away when we went to university, it kind of, he set me up to have to do minimal amounts of physical, like working out and stuff, to maintain what shape I was in because my body was in such good shape. And then I just threw it out the window. You know what I mean? So now I've got 10 years of abuse to go back on to try to fix that. But it is what it is. If I want to do it, I can do it. So.
Yeah, but I think like I've talked to you before, like kids I feel like are designed to either be exactly like their parents or the exact opposite of their parents.
Yeah.
And there's so many cases of that where the kid's like, fuck my mom and dad, like, blah, and then like they go and do everything opposite to what their parents have taught them because I think it's actually built into like their genome to, well, if it didn't work for your parents, maybe you should try something different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just be absolutely as rebellious as possible and do the exact opposite of what your parents told you, and maybe you'll be in a better spot than them, which is actually true in some cases, but not all cases.
Yeah, it can be. But it's case by case basis for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can name a couple people, but we won't do that because we're on a podcast. But
true.
Quite a few people come to mind that have went out of their way to be a fuck up because their parents set them up with everything they needed to be good people. And then they were like, fuck you. Yeah. Like, I want to ruin my life.
Exactly. Yeah. Olive branch not accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
It is. The brain's a weird muscle, man. Like, it's just, it's weird. That's why there's people that study them, and then there's why people who do the philosophy thing, it's on my mind because of that fucking drawing. But people who just try to think outside of those means and stuff like that, because no one understands how this thing works. Nobody.
Yeah.
Maybe they do. I don't know. I'm just speaking for the entire world. Like, nobody.
Yeah. Nobody in the entire world.
Yeah. Nobody gets it.
You hear that, 30 viewers?
Yeah,
nobody in the entire world.
That's right. Did you view us last week? I was like, damn, I think he beat me.
I think I did because it was a minute and something, and they were like, you know what, we can watch this.
Like, okay, I'm the problem. That's funny. I had a couple people ask about it this week, which was nice too. But I do think a week was good too. Just kind of, I know we've still got a lot of talking to do about what we're gonna do and all this, and some people that I talk to, they're just like, just turn the thing on and talk. Like, nobody's here because of some like set of guidelines, and I think that's kind of what I'm recognizing as well. Like, we would always try to pull this conversation back to Twitch. That was all we had at the start, and that was what was familiar, Everything we talk about right now, I could spin it into a Twitch scenario if I wanted to.
Course.
You know what I mean? But it's transcended that a bit for me. And I find that the chat flows easier when we're not trying to just peg it to a topic, just whatever, just talk.
Yeah. And it's easy to like try to rope it back, and then it gets kind of cheesy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
oh, he's going to bring it into Twitch again. Like, I don't want to.
Anyway,
really
so when those 7 people were watching me play Days Gone last week, we can really tie in all this stuff about my large gut right now.
Yeah, being fat is a lot like a zombie.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like a bloated zombie. That's all I'm talking about. Look at my Twitch. Check it out. Like, that's just it's just a learning experience. There's a fear of is anybody gonna like this, or is anybody gonna that, or then there's getting offended and all that, and then it's like, you know what, like we've been talking about, just do what you're gonna do. If people resonate with it, they do. If they don't, switch it up, do something else, change it. If you don't want to change it, don't. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it works either way, right? Like, some people, like, I know a lot of the Fallout 76 guys don't want to, like, a lot of them are hard stuck on that game. Like, they don't want to play other things because they love the game, or they think their viewership's going to run away when they change games. And I mean, whatever. I mean, again, it's one of those things. It's not my problem.
Yeah, that's right. I think there's a lot more pressure on people that do it for a living than people who do it for kind of both. But it's you gotta expand the horizons at some point. And
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a huge fear of that. And this is also not just a Twitch conversation, but it does link very well into Fallout, because that's where I was at. Like, I have fun with the people on the game. Do I like the game? Yeah. Is it my favorite game I've ever played? No, I'm not going to lie and say that it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a fun game to stream from time to time, to hang out with people and do stuff, because that's the aspect of it. But like,
Yeah.
if I want to play something else, you know, like I said, this isn't putting food on my table by any means. You know,
Yeah.
it's clearing my head, which is
Grains of rice.
exactly that's that one shot glass of brown rice a day. That's what we were talking about. That's the tie-in right there. But yeah, I'm like, okay, we made it, babe. All right, I made $14 this week. So anyway, Twitch is going to take half of that. So that leaves us with $7. Oh, minute rice is $11.99. Shit, you know what I mean? Honestly, so. But yeah,
Oh God,
I think anybody
that's
doing
true.
it that is scared
Yeah.
of what's on the horizon. One of the first episodes that we talked about this, talking about tie-ins, here he goes, is
He's gonna say it.
you gotta lose to win. And once you hit that status quo portion of anything, whether it's streaming or whether it's your health or whether it's a hobby you're trying to do or a sport or your job or anything, like once you hit that wall, like once you're there, bang, you might still be successful right there, but you don't know what's over there. You know what I mean? And maybe it's bad. Maybe over here is not good and you need to come back around. But if you don't take that peak, how do you know? And that's the scary part. And that's Fallout's a good example for it, because there are a lot of great streamers on that I would legitimately watch play anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I like them. I like the style. I like their community. A lot of the times I'm not watching it for the Fallout. I'm watching it for what's going on and what the chat's saying and what the interactions are. Same with so you know, there's, you know, if you don't know what's out there, you don't know. And
Yeah.
a lot of people just need to believe in themselves, and there's a few people that know that I'm talking to them when I say that you know, the product you're presenting is good regardless of the platform, and you just got to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
But also, I'm a lot better at saying that to people than actually doing it, but I'm trying. Baby steps.
Baby steps.
One
Yeah.
glass of brown rice at a time. I fucking hate brown rice.
I fucking do too. You know what though? It's actually better for
I
you than the
know.
white rice. It's the worst part. And it takes. You know why I hate it? It's not even anything. Like, it tastes fine. It fucking thing takes like 3 times as long to cook.
I know.
It's like,
Yeah.
take your time. It's not like I'm on lunch or anything.
Yeah, I
and
know.
need to go back.
I can only eat this. The book said I can only eat this. I can't have anything else. I'm going to starve. I either eat this cup of brown rice or nothing. Because the book I bought at the As Seen on TV store with the DVDs tells me that I can only eat brown rice and salmon for 8 months. Like, it's so,
Yeah.
oh man. It's just, yeah. Anyway.
I miss buying canned salmon. Canned salmon.
Le can
Shit's
salmon.
Yeah,
What's
mix that
salmon
with
in
the
French?
rice. Saumon.
Oh, I went the wrong way. I went up. I'm supposed to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like salmon, but I'm not a huge, like, it's one of those things that's too pricey for me to get into justifying buying it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But family loves it. Yeah, go
Yeah.
salmon. Cool.
Go salmon.
Yeah, neat fish. Super neat fish.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, you can't eat too much fish or you get fucking mercury poisoning."
No,
It's
farm
like, oh,
salmon
great.
are the worst thing you could ever eat. Like, but my book says only salmon. And I
Yeah.
can't fucking fish them. Remember when we were going to stop swearing? That was a few weeks ago, wasn't it? This one's a freebie. This one doesn't count.
I can't even remember when we started. We said we'd stop swearing because I swore like crazy in 14, which was the last app.
True, 14.1.
right?
Yeah.
No, not in 14.1,
Oh.
14.
Oh, 14.
There was
Ugh.
14 and 14.1, right? This is 15 because we didn't have, like, we can't.
Right.
Yeah. That wasn't an app. That was just like a
little
sub
snippet.
episode.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Everybody praised my performance in it, so that was awesome.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, you assholes.
Yeah.
They're all like, wow,
Finally.
great work. It's like,
Whatever.
oh my God. Someone was like, yo, are you guys doing shorts now or what? I'm like, here we go.
Forgot about that. Hey, we should just literally log on for a minute and a half.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up? Fuck this. Yeah, salmon. Rice. Yeah, I did some biking. All right, later. Hang up.
Pretty much, yeah. Fuck.
That's what we talk about, the attention span in the world. Like, even the whole time we're talking, like, if you
Mhm.
watch the videos, I'm like looking around. I have
Yeah.
to like touch stuff, shiny.
Yeah.
It's just the way
I find
everybody's wired.
I have problems looking at it's kind of weird, but if I stare at you for too long, it's like dizzying almost. Because
Yeah.
I'm like trying to stare at you, but
Yeah.
it after a while, all my surroundings are kind of dizzy, and yeah, it's weird.
It's a lot of it too, because you're right, and like you are where I put you, like where I would usually have is over here on my other monitor, right? But I don't want
Yeah.
to be like this to the camera, so I'm here. Then there's a ring light just blasting me right here. I got grease
Yeah.
all over my hands from my kid's bike chain. You see that? There's another dad thing. But anyway,
Uh,
so it's like when I look at you, I'm like trying so hard not to be like,
yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
these
yeah.
streamer setups are very bright, like very bright.
Very bright. This one's not as bright now because I put the lights facing the wall, but I'm of course only like one arm's length away from the wall, so it's like
Yeah.
anyway.
I'm hoping to move into the room behind this, which is where you stayed back
Yeah.
years ago, so that I can get all this shit out of the middle of the floor and in there, and then I can do something a little better for lighting, because right now I can't bounce off any walls because there's no wall anywhere out here, like I'm staring
Okay.
upstairs basically. So
Yeah, yeah.
doesn't have a cool
Huh.
shelf though. Groot can come if
Yeah,
he wants.
Shelf should come along.
Just drag this shelf is so big. Just drag the entire thing in there.
Oh well, you'll find some new scenery if not.
Truth.
That's the only thing I'm gonna miss about this apartment when I move out. It's my little streamer closet.
It's perfect.
Yeah. It needs to be a touch bigger, but whatever. That's all we got right now.
Yep.
So
One cup of rice at a time. The room will get bigger.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much, man. Fuck.
That's all you can do.
I had my issues with OBS the other day, and I was trying so hard to not get triggered. It was a fucking war.
Yeah, the
I
camera
was like, you know
having a
what?
shit.
I was like, you know what? We're just not gonna have a camera then. And it's not even the camera. I thought it was, but it's all just that stupid OBS issue where your scenes get like corrupted over time. And you have to like delete your cameras from all your scenes and like remake your scenes
I hate it.
because
Yeah.
it's stupid as hell.
I've still got my second camera that I'm staring at it angrily right now that won't work.
Yeah, you have to like delete it entirely from your OBS and see if you can re-add it.
You know what's
and
crazy
maybe-
is like and I could hang up right now and I could get on Messenger and call you, and that's the input that Messenger chooses. You'd be looking at this
Okay.
side of my face from over here, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Anyway, I don't get it. Whatever.
Oh well.
I hate it.
What do you think?
I
feel slow today.
I do feel a little slow too.
Today's such a 7 out of 10 day for me. It's unreal.
It's Thursday. There's
Mm.
a recurring theme that Thursdays
Yeah.
are meh days.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's definitely not the best day to record the podcast.
No, it's not. It's just it's just
But it is the best day to like film and edit the podcast because I can do it on Fridays.
yeah. No, we'll have to drop back to like a Tuesday or something. Do an adjustment.
Yeah, maybe.
Wednesday is like hell on earth for me. From the second I wake up to the second I go to bed. Yesterday I started 6:45. Get kids ready for school, and Sarah and I run around getting them ready for that. Then we drop them off. Then we go. We rush home. 4:30. Go to the baseball field. Set up for a 5:30 practice. Practice from 5:30 to 6:30. Set up the field again for the older ones. Practice from 6:45 to 7:45. Get home at like 20 after 8. Jam food in the kids' mouths. I'm late for when I usually would start at 9.
Yeah.
Strike's waiting for me. Run downstairs. Like, boom, I hit live. I go till midnight, and then I get off. And it's like that. It's like the Chevy Chase scene from National Lampoons where it's like, holy shit, where's the Tylenol? Like, that's me at 12 when I get off. Wednesdays are just they're such a write-off. So, yeah, but we can find something else. It's, this is one of those things I find, too, that doesn't need a hard... We need to give you room on the back end to edit it, but up until that, it's pretty... Whenever we get half an hour, we can just do it. Especially we're not trying to be, okay, well, we don't have an agenda for what we're going to talk about. You know what I mean?
No.
screw it, sit down and start blabbing. Whatever comes out, comes out. So
Yeah.
it's usually better that way.
I was thinking about you rushing around. It's like whenever I'm like rushing myself, I tend to move in like slow motion.
Yep.
It feels like I'm moving in quicksand the whole time,
Basically.
trying to get,
Yeah.
and like I'll be like, oh, I'm late, so I'm like running around like trying to do whatever, and I'm like even more late because I fuck up, and I'll be like, where's my phone? Where's my keys?
Yeah. It's so true.
So annoying.
I'm sitting on the bleachers like for t-ball practice, and I'm like, I don't even know what drills I'm gonna do. I didn't even think about any of this. And I was like, all right, let's just go, and then we just go. But yeah, feels like you're swimming all day, like just doing the freaking breaststroke all day. Just anyway,
yeah.
I made it through.
I can't really swim, but yeah, that would be fitting.
That'd be even better.
Feels
That's
like
better if you can barely swim. That's that's
Yeah.
right. And if you can swim, you've got lead weights on your ankles, just a little bit. And the pool's just deep enough that when you're on your tiptoes and you put your mouth out, just one nostril gets out. So that's kind of what it's like.
That's kind of the day.
It is. Yeah, it is. Whatever.
It's basically suffering.
It is what it is. You know, if I didn't have any of that, I'd be sitting right here doing nothing. So what are you going to do? You got to waste your time somehow, I guess. There, that's motivational right there. It's starting to go downhill.
Honestly.
Got to waste enough time until you die somehow. Christ. Oh, no.
Just smoke cigarettes, man. It's fine.
They've gone too far. Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
He said too much.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Well, that's,
that's all we got today.
That's what you get. Yeah. Welcome back.
That's what you get. Lucky for you, it didn't cost you anything but 37 minutes of your time.
True. Buy a mug.
Buy a mug. This is Between the Lives, episode 15. Coming at you hopefully on at least Spotify and YouTube here on Saturday. So much love, guys. My name is Julian, also known as Mr. Elliott. Over there, we've got Nick, also known as Father Millennial, and I don't think he's going live today, but he will be live on the Sunday, hopefully there. So we'll catch him then.
Yeah.
See you guys. Much love. Bye now.